Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we've got a battle of the housing bonuses as a civilization whose military buildings provide housing takes on a civilization that doesn't require housing at all, with the Viper playing as the Slavs in blue, getting ready to duke it out with Lewis playing as the Huns in red. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Not a bad opportunity for us to take a look at the Civ matchup, dead end, that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Slavs are a civilization that loves to get all up in your grill. Their infantry, which is already quite strong, can be upgraded to do trample damage, and their unique unit, the Boyar, is a fairly slow but overall very tanky, powerful cavalry unit with a ridiculous amount of both melee and pierce armor. Now, to support their melee units on the field of battle against harassment by I don't know, maybe some ranged units on a horse, perhaps? Well, all Slavic Siege Workshop units are 15% cheaper, which is fantastic for them because they do have access to every single Siege Workshop unit in the game, with the exception for bombard cannons, and those cheaper siege units can be combined with Slavic monks, which move 20% faster than normal to generate a powerful and adorably named Smush. Now, Slavic castles can also be upgraded so that 40% of their stone cost is replaced with wood, which does save a player about 260 stone per castle, after, of course, paying full price for the first one. Now, to help grow their military productions, the Slavs get gambesons and supplies for free. Their farmers work 15% faster than normal, and as I alluded to in the beginning of the game, every single barracks, every single archery range, stable, and siege workshop actually provides 5 population space, just like a house, which does free up a little bit more wood earlier on for things like farms or maybe some of those discounted siege units. Now, those siege units might be looking to fire on somebody. Who may that person be? In this game, it is Lewis playing as the Huns in red, a civilization designed to take the fight to its enemy with speed and mobility. Hunnic cav archers get progressively cheaper starting in Castle Age, all the way up to 20% cheaper in Imperial. Their trebs fire more accurately at units. Their stables work 20% faster than normal, which is great because you can upgrade your stables to train your unique unit, the Tarkin. This is a medium cavalry unit with a high amount of pierce armor and an attack bonus against a multitude of buildings, which does make it great at not only late game raiding, but late game destruction. Now, to support its military, the Huns do not require any houses whatsoever. Do you see a single house? You do not, unless I need to get my eyes checked. I don't see one anywhere, because take a look at the top of your screen. They do start the game with 200 population space already available, which does free up a little bit of wood, a little bit of villager construction time earlier on in the game. But for those eagle-eyed viewers who may have been looking at the top right of your screen to look at those Hunnic resources right when the video started, it does come at the cost of 100 wood. Those are the two civilizations we've got in front of us. Two unique units that have a good amount of armor. One with a basically tank level Teutonic Knight armor melee, the other with basically Huskarl level pierce armor. So we'll see if those unique units come into play. Hopefully, one attacking with a massive battle axe, the other with one of the creepiest, if not the creepiest, attack animations in the game, the Tarkin. If you're ever unfortunate enough to come across a Tarkin, when that unit attacks you, there is nothing but the whoosh, a faint, flow of air sound as it takes its torch and sets you on fire. Now, speaking of, let's see the map and see where our Tarkin might want to light that fire. Look at the attack path between the bases. Completely open and not that distant, not that long. By the way, again, in Age of Empires, one of these maps where 2/3 of the map, basically nothing. A whole lot of elevation, a whole lot of forest, a few relics, some random camels, which, unlike the current WDC2 tournament, do not have any meat on them at all. So pretty much an open base for the Viper, pretty much an open base for Lewis. So let's take a look at those bases as the players head up to the second age. It looks like about a 25-second difference between them, meaning one player definitely has skipped Loom, unless I'm completely mistaken. Nope, it is our Hun who has skipped Loom. All right, good time for us. We've got about a minute. Primary gold, primary stone in the forward position for the Viper. In the rear, not too much. He's got his extra patch of stone to the back, extra gold off to the left, and his third patch of gold off to the right side. So not very helpful at the moment. Forests providing absolutely no coverage in the forward position at all. So easy to wall off the flank, easy to wall off the rear, but forward portion completely open. Lewis, who just hit Feudal as the Viper scout, just kind of sits there watching, a bit perverty, but what can you do? Sometimes the units, they like to watch, they like to be voyeurs. Primary gold and stone to the back of the base. Not bad. The literal exact opposite of the Viper situation. By the way, when the Viper finishes constructing the stable, you'll notice his population space will jump up from 25 to 30 if this scout even lets him do that. Oh no, we've got goat shenanigans as 1, 2, okay. First taken, then saved. I mean, we are seeing more and more of this lately, but oh, you are not escaping unpunished, says Lewis. He gets the first kill of the game. I guess technically the Viper gets the first 2 kills of the game, but unfortunately for all the animal rights activists in Age of Empires, the metrics only really count human lives. And so first blood drawn here by the villagers inside the town center, who apparently have been practicing their bows and arrows. Where are the additional resources for our Hun? Patch of gold off to the left, patch of gold off to the right, and additional stone to the back. So on the whole, in terms of location of resources, very much, it looked for a second like the blue spearman was attacking the cactus. Not too sure how Lewis's unit is standing on top of the cactus, but in terms of location of resources, very much Lewis is, I think, advantaged with his 2 primaries and a stone to the back. Also, by the way, his base completely open in the forward position as the Viper now gets revenge, but a short-lived revenge as the spearman who killed the spearman on top of the cactus gets killed by a spearman not on top of the cactus. Kill count standing at a 2-1 at the moment. Lewis prowling, circling around the edges of this town center, perhaps looking for some berry pickers he might want to kill. Ooh, there's one exposed one. He does take a little bit of the high ground here. Brings his spearman as well. The hero spearman with 1 kill. Okay, spearman kind of been left behind here as the scouts get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, this is like the little brother you don't want to take with you, but your parents force you to take when you go out. And FYI, I was that little brother. I was the one that my parents always foisted on my brother back in the Hunnic base. Villager comes under attack. Viper takes a few whacks at him, then disappears. More. Spearman tinkles as the Viper evens up the kill count. Now, one thing I will say about the Huns, unfortunately for them, because they don't need houses, because they do start the game with 200 population, the developers were like, you know, you don't really need houses, so you're not going to get houses. They can't even build houses, which makes walling off for the Hun a completely different animal. You cannot just plop down a nice, cheap 25 wood structure to block your opponent. Oh no, first villager kill of the game. Does come at a cost though. Lewis picks one off but loses one of his scouts. 50 food for 80, but you got to factor in all the future revenue, the present value of the future earnings of that one villager. Let's put it in business terms, because everyone likes the business. But in any event, no houses can form part of any wall off for the Hun, which makes their wall offs expensive if you need a 2x2 like a mill or a mining camp or something very, very quickly. Although usually when you're walling off very quickly, you put down the structure, your opponent sees it, your opponent runs away, and then you just delete the structure. Viper evens up the villager kill count, threading the needle here, by the way, right at the very edge of the TC. So far, both players committing quite heavily in the 15-minute mark. We're already up to 7 kills, 2 of them villagers. Is this even walled off? You would like to think so, but I'm not sure if he dragged the palisade wall. The good old palisade drag technique. More scouts for both players. 9 scouts for blue, 8 scouts for red, 2 spearmen and an archer against 4 spearmen. So food count wise, ain't no one going up to Castle Age anytime soon as the Viper picks off yet another straggler unit. But now he's going to see, maybe not. Yeah, he's going to see the flag on top of the archery range. And what is in here? Is it an archer? Is it a skirmisher? What, oh, what is our Hun planning out of that archery range? Armies engage, armies disengage. The Viper has the numbers. Does he have the HP? Let's get rid of those pesky spearmen. Yeah, just barely has the HP. 40 or 37 more HP with 2 extra units. Well, Lewis got some backup. He also has the defender's advantage, being able to reinforce his army a lot quicker than the Viper, who continues to throw units at this Hunnic base. Does cost him 2 of his spearmen, which means this scout army is a little less defended all of a sudden. Where are these villagers going in the middle of a battle here? So, usually skirmisher. Now we're seeing scout. Not a bad little feudal age engagement here at all happening. I don't mind it. As I said, I think a few times before, because I am, of course, a broken record, I've grown to really like feudal age fights. There's a lot of micro. There's a lot of counter units. Every unit seems to counter another. There's no unit that's ever safe. You can't build, oh, I don't know, whatever unit. Insert unit here name, unit name here. That's how creative I am. I can come up with the overall thought, but I can't fill it in. Like, can't really connect the dots. But basically, scouts are countered by spearmen. Spearmen are countered by archers and skirmishers. Archers are countered by skirmishers. Skirmishers are countered by scouts. Everyone counters everybody. And so it becomes a matter of micro because numbers are very important. Elevation becomes very important. But on the whole, micro is, I think, the #1 determining factor. You can easily beat your opponent's army if your opponent has more units than you, as long as you micro properly. Army count 17 to 21. Massive armies for feudal age. Viper's down 4 villagers. Here and there, units are falling. And I'm thinking, you know what? This is the kind of touch and go of 2 players who want to go up to castle age. But right as I think that, the Viper drops a whole bunch of resources for bloodlines, which our Hun doesn't have yet. Our Hun is instead getting infantry armor upgrades for those spearmen. So we are going to be in feudal for a while as a scout chases down a villager right as there's an engagement that I missed at the top of our screen. Spearman shoos away the scout. A few scouts, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 died for every player. Lewis's army count is starting to grow significantly ahead of his opponent, the Viper. Not banking any resources of any kind. He's gone up to 18 scouts. He has killed 3 villagers, though. Action all over the map. Lewis's base to the west, to the south, to the north has become under attack. Spearman joins villagers. By the way, the Spearman did not get the kill. One of those villagers got that kill. But while the Viper is distracting to the right, he is attacking villagers to the left. Okay, he himself ends up dying there with that scout that got 1 kill, not a villager though, but 5 total villager kills to 1, 30 kills to 25. Not bad. Another villager lies dead on the farm. The Viper is really doing an amazing job with the mobility of these scout units. Just not killing individual units here and there is obviously the #1 goal, but keeping Lewis's villagers running around. They're going north, then north comes under attack, then they're going west to go become lumberjacks, then that area becomes no-go, under attack. The Viper is just everywhere but Lewis. Lewis fights back with a bipedal force of 6 archers, 4 spearmen. We'll keep an eye on them. And the Viper, he's just being so annoying right now. Did he catch wind of the market? So he has caught wind of the market. Scout gets surrounded. Scout does not take a villager out before he dies. A few more scouts here. 5 more scouts are here. And the Viper's just non-stop. Nobody has any food. Everyone is just spending all of their food on military. The army continues to move forward. The Viper has blocked it in, so if it wants to proceed any further, it is going to have to go through a whole bunch of TC fire. And this is what happens to a unit that's not as fast as a scout and does not have as much HP as a bloodline scout. It dies very quickly to a town center. And by the way, this spearman is kind of isolated here. So if these scouts want to, by the way, full health scouts want to engage. Okay, not isolated anymore. But the Viper was probably up north, engaged in a battle there next to the wood line. He's got to get rid of the spearman. If he gets rid of the spearman, the tower will shoot away the archers. What an absolute bonkers feudal age. But look at Lewis's resources. He's 200 food away from going up to castle. And FYI, looks like on the minimap has cleared up the entirety of the Viper's army. The Viper has been knocked down to 2 army count. And you're looking at it. These 2 scouts are all he's got. Lewis tries to chase a villager, pumps him full of arrows, and is now 2 minutes, 20 seconds away from Castle Age. What does he have here? Blacksmith off to the left. We saw the military. We saw the market. So basically getting one of everything in Feudal Age. Meanwhile, the Viper is forced to spend more food, the last thing you want when you need 800 of it to go up to the next stage, just to defend his base, but he will clear it out. Sneaky, sneaky scout to the north in case the archer tries to run, and wow, 26 minutes into the game. Look at the kill count. 111 total kills, but the Viper, our Slav, has killed 18 villagers. Lewis is down 14 villagers, but he's gonna hit Castle Age first. Does not have the stone to do anything. He's going up to 3 archery ranges. Does he have the economy to support 3 archery ranges? I'm assuming they're for those 10% cheaper cav archers, but even with a 10% discount, 3 ranges is a lot of infrastructure to start pumping units out. So we'll see if 38 villagers is the magic number here. Definitely has enough villagers on gold. Looks like one of them is not dropping off. Oh, this happens so often. Immediately hits castle. Immediately. 1, 1, 1. Cavalry archers are being trained, and the Viper's back. Hey, being annoying for me worked earlier in the game. I got 18 villager kills. Why don't I try to be annoying again with 4 of my scouts? You're in Castle Age. I still need a minute and a half to get my butt up to Castle Age. I didn't have to sell my stone. So no second TC here for our Hun, who is just training 1 villager at a time. And now that that 39th villager has trained, no more for him. Now, the good news for the Viper is once this unit, this scout unit, hits Castle Age, if he leaves it as a scout, it will be able to run faster than the light cavalry unit. A lot faster. I mean, even if he upgrades it to light cav, it will, but even as a scout, I think the movement speed jumps up to something ridiculous like 1.71 or 1.72. Basically like a Shravamsha rider. Another villager being chased to the north. Not able to wall in time. What's the movement speed? Oh, he doesn't have husbandry. Oh, he doesn't have husbandry yet. Okay. And yet again, the Viper's to the left, the Viper's to the right, the Viper's to the extreme right here as a knight pops out to deal with this. And we've got a little bit of a remnants of a Feudal Age army battling each other out here south of this one particular house. This guy's probably yelling out his window like I do at nighttime when someone's doing annoying things in my parking lot. Get the hell out of here or I'm calling the police. Knight 2 spearmen should be able to shoo this away. Not catch up, but definitely shoo. As now cav archers move south. I mean, what? An absolute crazy Feudal Age game so far. But now we're in Castle. Let's see what the battles look like now. Now we've got more powerful units out on the field of battle, but the problem for the Viper, he's got to catch up and he needs husbandry. Okay, he realizes he needs husbandry and he gets it. So I think the movement speed on these, now they've been upgraded to light cav, will go from 1.5 to 1.65. Villager trying to repair. 2 villagers trying to repair, but a little bit too late here to the party. Viper, by the way, is up to 25 villager kills. Lewis has the same 4 vill kills that he's had for a while, and now the villager difference is 17. The Viper, by the way, going up to a second town center. Okay, so Lewis needs to scout this ASAP. Because he's still sitting on 1 TC, no stone whatsoever for him. He's got enough wood in a second for another town center. But now we've got 15% discounted scorpions moving forward. We've got 20% faster movement. Look at how fast this monk moves. He says as the battle goes northwards. Should be enough cav archers here to... what do we think? 4-shot? 3-shot the scorpions? Doesn't really matter. The knight comes in and does the work himself. As the cav archers need to engage in more of a hit and run strategy right now. And yet again, the Viper is just everywhere. He's to the right, he's to the north, he's to the center. Underneath the TC will die. Yeah. Even knights need to be wary of a town center. Look at how fast this monk moves. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's moving fast, but 0.84, that is a Dark Age Berber villager movement speed. Viper does get picked off. Now, there are enough spearmen here that even with bloodlines, these guys still do 15 bonus damage to cavalry. That being said, villager kill count is now 28, but now it's maybe Lewis's turn to do some villager killing, but the Viper is not letting him. This is just incredible. The Viper with small little bands of units, small little clumps, one over here, two knights over here, a few on the left, a few on the right. He is literally everywhere and just keeping Lewis running around. What should Lewis do here? Should he conglomerate his entire army into a death ball and just try and go and snipe as many villagers as he possibly can? That might be the solution here. He is now adding a knight of his own. It is a little bit less upgraded than the Viper, but even with the one less armor upgrade should be enough to kill all of these scorpions. Has Lewis, by the way, seen? Oh, he hasn't seen the second town center. He thinks there's a lumber camp here. So he's gonna... Is he gonna dive into this thinking it's a lumber camp? Oh, okay. Run away. No, 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 no. Oh, that is so sour. And the Viper walls him in. He's got to go the long route between two town centers. Oh my God, that was so okay, apparently that was too disgusting. Lewis thinking there was a lumber camp here. This is his last. This is why military intelligence is so important. This is his last information, is that there's a lumber camp here. And then he dive bombs it thinking, oh, hell yeah, now it's my turn, baby. Now it's my turn to snipe some villagers. But instead, the Viper immediately garrisons villagers and then uses the one who's not garrisoned to wall off this escape path. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dead unit. I guess I could have just looked at the number 6. I do know my numbers, I promise. 6 dead out of 13. Half of Lewis's cav archer count. The other half are barely alive. 156 HP out of 350 on them. Wow. Wow, wow. What a fantastic move out of the Viper. What an absolute atrocious dive by Lewis. And he just says, you know what? You've killed 30 of my villagers. I'm on 1 town center. You're on 2 town centers. I'm looking at the score. I'm down about 25%. He doesn't know it. Right? He doesn't know it. Yeah. We know that the Viper is about to castle drop him right at the entrance of his base. And holy moly. I mean, the Viper's APM must be like 6,000, right? What? 185? That's definitely seemed like it should be a lot higher than 185. When was that? 18 minutes in, right at the beginning of the game for Lewis. Which is a little surprising for the Huns, no? Because you don't really need to queue houses for the Huns. But okay, it is what it is. This seems a little low. I feel like it should be a 285, given how ridiculous the multi-pronged attacks have been this entire game. And the Viper just absolutely everywhere this game with his scouts, then light cav. 110 kills in Feudal Age is a pretty damn bonkers kill count. At least based on the games that we've seen on this channel. I don't know what games you guys are playing. I don't know what games, tournament games and all that stuff. But on this channel, 110, 111 kills in Feudal is a huge amount. And to do it all with scouts delayed him going up to castle so much. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Lewis got up to castle. What did he do with Castle Age? No second TC, no castle, 0 stone. Kept pumping out those cav archers, which fair enough. Could have gotten a lot of damage, but he's been on the same 4 villager kills the entire game. He could, oh, if only Lewis had gone to this side of the forest. Age of Empires is so hyper realistic in that sense. I mean, how many of us don't, like 2 in the morning when we can't go to sleep in the dark recesses of our minds as we're lying in bed, doom scrolling, or we're just finished doom scrolling on YouTube or Twitter, X, or whatever the hell it's called, Instagram, Reddit, doesn't matter. Oh, if I had only said yes to this, if I had only said no to that, if I had only gone left instead of going right, if I only, took this job offer, declined this offer, I, took this person here or ate at that restaurant, what would my life look? If only Lewis had gone to this side of the forest and not this side of the forest, what would his life have looked like? And kudos to the Viper for his ridiculous micro skills. The lightning fast, first of all, garrisoning all those villagers, except for one, to keep them safe. Lewis didn't kill a single villager here. And then forcing him to run into this Venn diagram between one town center and another, into this zone where he was attacked by multiple TCs, was absolutely stupendous. What a fantastic. I mean, it sucks the game ended so quickly, but wow, what a way to end it. Gold relics not really playing a role. Both players basically identical. And here you go. Look at the slab. What is that? Almost 7,000 resources ahead. Holy moly, about 35-40% bigger economy for the slab. Food is never really a big question for the slab because, you know, those 15% faster farmers, always they have an advantage in food. Wood a little bit more. This is surprising. I thought the Hun with the pivot to cav archers would have been ahead, but yeah, 0 on stone. But I guess that also goes to my point earlier where at one point Lewis's villagers were just running from here to here. And then the Viper would come, and they run up here, and then the Viper would come here, and the Viper is still here, by the way. Look at this. Another villager kill, the 40th, or the 30th. Now, he was at 29, now it's at 30. Actually, never mind. There's another, like the Wicked Witch of the West here in the Wizard of Oz. There's just a pair of boots. There's just a pair of boots underneath the gold pile. Oh my goodness. What an absolute disaster for our Hun. Just the Viper literally everywhere, keeping those villagers idle, moving around, not gathering resources, conversions, raisings not really playing a role. This game was all about maneuvering, and ultimately at the end, the maneuver here by Lewis just cost him half of his cav archer army, at least half of the offensive cav archer army. He does have a follow-up coming, but the Viper's maneuvering was a little bit quicker. The TC went undiscovered. If he knew there was a TC, he would not have dive bombed. He probably, again, would have come to the south side of the forest instead of the north. But ultimately, wow, what a ridiculous Feudal Age game out of the Viper, just destroying any military capacity of the Hun, who, to be fair, did go up to 3 archery ranges and was pumping out a good number of cav archers. Unfortunately, one wrong move when you're already behind. I mean, look at Lewis. He needed to get a lot more damage done, and cav archers, unless you snipe like 20 or 30 of your opponent's villagers in the next, let's say, 5 to 6 to 7 minutes, you're just going to be way too far behind. And he knows that, and he knows now with the second TC. So the killing of 6 cav archers was the icing on the cake, or the cherry on the sundae. But the sundae itself was the fact that Lewis is just way too far behind economically. The Viper just absolutely wrecking. Look at this. This looks like a piece of Swiss cheese. A farm over here, a farm over here. Gold miners on the north side of the patch here. I mean, this is just a settlement that has been wrecked again and again by Hurricane Viper. And with that wrecking and with the ultimately cherry on the sundae, the kill of half of the offensive archers here, the Viper takes the W. But GG in a very fun, ridiculous Feudal Age game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.